Freedom Day is a worldwide celebration of free and open source software. Now, true to hacker mentality, a few makers got together in vereniging to combine their love for open source software and quadcopters. Sounds like a whole lot of fun to me, but before we get there, let's check in at Hypertext Africa. Brendan shows us how to make a load shed busting emergency light system. Right, so load shedding is not quite a thing of the past, it's eased up, but you've got quite a cool contraption that will keep the light on the subject, so to speak.
Yes. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to build a load shedding light that will kick in when the power comes off so that you're not sitting in the dark banging your knees on every piece of furniture in your house.
Very cool.
So what we're going to do to build this is we're going to take an Intel Edison chip and a Intel Edison Arduino breakout board. We're going to use an LED light, a little resistor so that we don't blow our LED light accidentally, a couple of cables, and then to program the Arduino and the Edison, we're going to take two micro USB cables. And what that should do is that when our power goes out and the Wi-Fi drops, the Wi-Fi receiver on the Intel Edison will pick up that the Wi-Fi has dropped and the light should turn on.
So all it is this one little LED that's going to keep your light shining?
Well, if you think about when it's dark, you know, there's not much light anyway. So one LED is going to illuminate your room enough for you to be able to see what there is so that you don't accidentally knock your knees off.
So this is a DIY project. Where will I find each and every one of these little things, and how do I even begin to know where to start?
Okay, well, most hobby electronics shops are going to be able to stock all of this stuff. You can buy a small little kit from Hobbytronics or Smart Labs, and they all have these little components that you'll need to build it. As for how to build it, you're going to have to visit the HTXT website and find the instructions there.
We see you, sneaky. Let's get building. Well, today is being celebrated with 200 events in over 60 countries, and we've decided for a day of fun in the sun. Before we get there, though, we're catching up with an old favorite, Tom van der Bon from Binary Space. How are you doing?
Fine, and yourself?
I'm good. So, Open Source Freedom Day. Tell me a little bit about it and how you guys have actually constructed the day.
Well, Open Source Freedom Day is generally about celebrating open sourceness of everything you can find today. Now, we decided instead of having your usual boring PowerPoint presentation day to put a twist on it, because open source is not just about software, it's also about hardware.
Right.
Hardware designs, quadcopters, 3D printers, everything that we play with is all open source.
Take me on a tour. There's quite a strip here and very interesting things I see. So.
Well, yes, we've got our usual 3D printers. Over here we've got it's called the Cyclops. It's a 3D scanner. So you essentially put down your object and it will spin around, scan it, and it will give you a model of whatever you scanned there to put onto the 3D printer. Then further on, we're really starting to enjoy robotics at Binary Space. So as you can see, we've got, this is called Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Fred is our new experimental robot arm. And then we also play around with the 3D scanning. So actually 3D scanning somebody using the Kinect. And then obviously that can also be printed out again.
So when you say you're scanning someone using an Xbox Kinect, how does it even work?
Well, you know the Kinect.
Yes.
The Xbox, the games and that. Well, some smart guys developed the software for it to basically pick up data from its surroundings. So you can use this to scan you as a person or a whole room if need be. And it will convert it into a 3D model that can be 3D printed on one of the 3D printers.
Wow, that's incredible. Talk about a collab and a half. I like that.
And then lastly, this is our, it's still a bit rough, but it's the newer one. It's a polar drawing bot. So it essentially...
Say that again? A
polar draw bot.
Wow, okay.
But basically just have the two motors, and then it pulls, you'll recognize this is the bathroom change that you've got on your bathroom plugs. That's essentially that. And it basically just from the computer, the drawing, it draws it out on a piece of paper.
That's incredible. Okay, so why did you decide to differentiate your sharing day and your open day with quadcopters?
Well, quadcopters, most of the quadcopters you get today, the designs around it is all open source. You've got the physical, mechanical design that is open source, and the actual software that runs on top of it is also open source firmware. So quadcopters, the quadcopters we play with is mostly thanks to open source designs and open source firmware.
Right, okay, so we're gonna pause on the robotics and we're gonna get to the quadcopters in just a bit. Catching up with Skulk Yenis, who is the founder of House for Hack and an FPV pilot.
That's it.
Woohoo! Got that in the bag, but now you've got to tell me what an FPV pilot does.
Okay, so it's a special kind of RC pilot, so radio control pilot. The difference being that first-person video, FPV is first-person view. So I get a view from my aeroplane or quadcopter while I'm controlling it.
Now, is there a tool or an apparatus that you do that with?
Okay, so to show you maybe the tools, so the one which is the video goggles, so this receives the video stream from the quadcopter or the aeroplane,
Right.
and I typically have it on my eyes like this.
Okay.
Right? And then while I have that, I have the remote control and I would fly the craft. So basically you get the experience that you're in the plane, in the craft, and you're flying around, and you're exploring, and you're seeing wonderful things.
So it simulates the view that you're getting from the top and the
Yes.
aerial experience.
Yeah.
Right, check.
Okay.
Now, you've got some mean-looking machines here, but I'm going to go all the way to this first little one, which I'm guessing is beginning stages.
Yeah. So this one, if you want to maybe hold it up. Basically, when we train people or when people want to start playing with quadcopters, this is the thing to start with. Don't start with the like 100,000 Rand machine, start with like a couple $100 machine.
So this will be my little tools and play toys for the day, I guess. So I'll be holding on to this. Talk us through the rest of it.
Mainly there's two classes. The one is the airplanes, and the other is the quadcopters or multi-rotors. So when I say multi-rotor, I mean because the 4 is a quadcopter, and then 6 would be a hexacopter and so on. And then within that, there's also different classes. So for instance, this one that's just by you is a racing quadcopter. So you can see it's small, it's very light and very nimble, and it would like race through the track. So you can see it's all like nicely done up. So you know,
It's got a lot of attitude.
a lot of attitude.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to mess with that one.
No,
But
no.
now let's backtrack to the aeroplane, because that's actually something you've built yourself.
So the aeroplanes, basically what we do is we take a model airplane that we can buy, and then we add all the video equipment and things to it.
Wow.
Okay. So, and then the nice thing about with the airplanes is you can get much further distances, endurance, because with the quadcopters, those blades have to turn the whole time. With these, I mean, you can glide, you can soar, and that type of thing as well.
Now, tell me about this beast. It's even got its own camera attached to it very visibly.
Yes.
So why would I even need this? And what would I use it for?
So one of the nice things, while you're flying around, you get this impression, you can see the whole world, you can see these beautiful things. But like if you're recording it on like a GoPro or something, you're always going to get that low quality. It's nice for sports cam type of videos that you want to make and put it on YouTube yourself. But if you know, the next thing is, well, someone wants to say, well, let's photograph Software Freedom Day and let's get some nice footage of that. And so this is the craft you're going to use for that.
Right, so it actually comes down to quality.
So it's got a lot to do with quality. So also another thing I think that you picked up on this was there's a stabilizer here. So this like a 2D or a 3D. So this is a 3D gimbal, which means it can move in 3 different axes and so on. Yeah.
Right, okay, so all talk and no action. Let's see how I can get this into the sky. Now I'm with Philip, my quadcopter instructor. So we are going to get down and into it. Okay, but we're starting off small.
Great.
Fantastic. So where to from here? What do I do? What do I have to hold?
Right, so the first thing is we actually need to switch it on.
Okay.
Okay, and to be able to switch it on, you need to put it on a flat surface. So I'm glad we've got the table here. I'm switching it on as we speak. There we go. Then I switch on the transmitter on this one, and it calibrates itself. Now it's calibrated. So this is the throttle. This will actually make the
Which gives it
blade spin
height.
up, and it will actually make it go up.
Okay.
The very first lesson that I want to give to you is that you need to play just with the throttle really. It might go a little bit left and right, front and back, but you need to figure out where's the sweet spot to keep it to hover.
Aha, I need to find the groove.
That's correct, yes.
Hand it over, Philip.
There you go. So what I'm going to do is just to give us a little bit of space because it can actually quickly fly all over. So if anything goes wrong or you're unsure about what's going on, pull back that throttle all the way towards you and let it fall on the ground.
Okay.
Okay, that's the safest thing. There we go. Nice.
I'm a natural, people. Natural.
You can do this. Well done.
Wow, that's actually quite addictive. More, please.
You're
Philip.
absolutely a natural.
Thanks. Well, good instructor, I guess. Thanks for joining me on Edge today. We'll be back and doing this all again next week right here on Edge. Until then, hop into our YouTube channel for your daily dose of Edge Rewound. Cheers, tech heads.